We'd like to welcome you high atop the press box here at LeRoy Hayes Field in Thermopolis, Wyoming. A brand new season of middle school football coming to you live on TBSN. The future of the Bobcats here on display. And what better way to open out than against a rival 30 minutes north of the town, the Worland Braves, coming in after the varsity counterparts played last night. The Bobcats securing the 38-0 victory over the Worland Warriors last night. So glad to have you all with us here. It's a brand new season of middle school football. We're excited to be here with you. We'll be here through all 7 games, I believe, are on the schedule, starting here in Thermopolis and ending here against Worland and ending on October 1st against the Riverton Spartans. Before we get started, we'd like to just take a bit of a moment to remember someone who I am so sorry. I'm stumbling over my words here. As we remember somebody that both of these communities have lost over the past couple of weeks. Earlier this August, Roman Parra, a former Worland Warrior, passed away at the age of 20. He played football, basketball, and soccer for the Worland Warriors. We have personally called games that he has been a part of, and he will sorely be missed. We'd like to please ask our audience to observe a moment of silence for Roman Parra. It has no doubt been an emotional summer for the city of Worland and the Bighorn Basin as a whole. Roman will surely be missed, and we hope that today's game is just a small bit of a way to honor him here today as his former school takes the field today. The Thermopolis Bobcats taking on the Worland Braves. It is going to be 32 minutes of action here at LeRoy Hayes Field, a new and improved LeRoy Hayes Field at that. As you can see on the camera, a brand new track which was installed over the course of the summer. So a bit of an interesting backdrop to start the new season. Of course, the high schoolers got a chance to break that in yesterday. Bobcats sending in their captains here. It looks like it's going to be to your left. That is going to be Cade Enos. To the middle, that'll be Braxton DeLay I think he's wearing Tanner's old number as well. And then Dawson McLean on the right side is the last captain for Thermopolis. Trying to get those captains here for you for Worland. On the left side appears to be the number 4 of Brenner Barthelmess, a 7th grader. Trying to get that middle number for you here, but trying to see at least to the right side. I think on the right side is Brayson Bilodeau in front. And I'm trying to get that guy in the middle. But we'll have that for you as soon as we can. But the Bobcats will be wearing their, I shouldn't really say their home purples, considering I think they'll be probably using this uniform for the entire season. But they'll be wearing their home purples today with the yellow numbering and lettering. Bobcats on the back of the uniform, 2 yellow stripes on the shoulder, purple helmets, purple pants. The Worland Braves will be wearing their away whites today with the black numbering, black pants, Worland across the chest. Of course, we do, obviously, since this is the coin toss, we do not know which direction they'll be moving here just quite yet. But so the Thermopolis Bobcats opening out here at home. Next week, they'll be on the road at the Shoshone Wranglers at Bailey Field in Shoshone. Really looking forward to that game. The Bobcats a bit top-heavy on their home matchups this season, obviously hosting Worland today, but in 2 weeks they'll be hosting the Lander Sabres, and then they will have a home game, or they'll be on the road against Grable, and then a home game against Rocky Mountain in a well, the thing about that Grable game is that it's listed as a hybrid. So basically, you'll be seeing the 9-man offense, 9-man or something. I guess Grable will be 9-man offense, but that last captain, by the way, for Worland is number 24, Tice Bradshaw. Now, Tice has become a bit of a personal, I can't really say favorite, but we called his soccer games last year for the Worland, or I shouldn't really say last year, but this past spring for the Worland Braves. Bradshaw, such a amazing kid for the Worland Braves. So I got a little bit of I guess, a bit of an emotional investment to both sides here, having worked with the Braves with their soccer program. So, so this is probably about, I guess, despite technically calling the game for Thermop, this is probably going to be about as impartial of a broadcast as you're probably going to get. Not to say that we don't try, of course, to be objective here, but definitely is a little bit easier when you are familiar with both sides of the ball. So we are going to probably just step aside for a little bit. Coming up next, the Thermopolis Bobcats and the Worland Braves on TBSN. It is the middle school season opener as the Worland Braves take on the Bobcats here on the road. Can the Bobcats continue what the varsity team started last night with a 38-0 victory over the Warriors, or will the Braves avenge their varsity counterparts? Find all that out here and more here on Two Basins Sports Network. The future of the Bobcats returns after this quick break. Like to welcome you back here atop the press box at LeRoy Hayes Field in Thermopolis, Wyoming, the county seat of Hot Springs County, as we get ready to go for the season opener. It's middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. The future of the Bobcats putting their talents on display here today as they get ready to take on the neighbor next door, the Worland Warriors. Or sorry, the Worland Braves. I apologize. That's a mistake that's gonna be made at least more than once today. So, the Thermopolis Bobcats wearing their home purples today. They'll be moving left to right across your device today. The Worland Braves wearing their away whites. They'll be moving right to left. Bobcats set to kick it away here very shortly. Braxton DeLay, the 8th grader, is gonna be back to kick it away, as I believe Tanner was actually on the kickoffs yesterday. For the Bobcats varsity program last night. Again, a 38-0 win over the Warriors yesterday. Congratulations to Boone Bowker and the Bobcats for that. Brian Johnson, Andrew Ennis, Darren Elder, and Stone Pebbles are your coaches today for the Bobcats. Warriors have, they just have Mr. in front of their name. We did talk with Mr. Utterback, actually, before the game. Really excited to see what his team can put together, but I think his first name is, I'm not going to try to guess that, otherwise I will look like an idiot. They'll run to the far side, and he is going to get taken up immediately there. It looked like that was Quentin Parra there on the carry up to the far side. Warriors will take the field here to open us out, and they'll have decent field position to start as they'll get up to the 40-yard line to start us out here. So the first offensive series of the day, 7:56 to go on the clock here. Just a friendly reminder, tuned in to middle school football on TBSN. We'll be covering, we were supposed to be on the call for the Meeteetse Longhorns this season. However, as those who are tuned in with high school football in Wyoming are aware, the Meeteetse Longhorns not having a football program or a high school football program this season. We could have stuck it out with the middle school team, to be fair, but we do, of course. We are grateful that now that we can at least call all of the games now for the middle school. We originally were having to miss the Shoshone game, but that is no longer the case. Pitch to the near side. He's going to have some space. Finds open room to go. Past the 50. Near side 40. Down to the 30. The 20. The 10. Goodbye. Touchdown Braves. Number 24, Tice Bradshaw in on the score, and the Braves draw first blood here in Thermopolis. And just like that, that is just how quickly that he scored that from about the 40-yard line. For those who tuned into our Braves broadcast for soccer, you know how good of an athlete Tice Bradshaw is, and he ran like he was wanted. 7:43 to go. The Braves with the first score of the game. And so it looks like they will line up again. I think it's a pass for 2, run for 1. Takes the snap, takes the pitch to the far side, gets into open space, and they will convert the 1. Looked like that was Brogan Tiedemann, the 8th grader, in on the carry. Again, Brogan Tiedemann, another familiar face to us here from his soccer shenanigans. Really great scorer in his own right on the soccer pitch in the spring, and we hope to see him again this April. But that is the first drive done and dusted. The Worland Braves with the first score of the game. It is 7-0 as Worland tries to take care of business on the road again with a bit of a hybrid game with their 8th graders taking the field first. We'll be back here in just a moment. 7:43 to go off of the score. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. I'd like to welcome you atop the press box here at LeRoy Hayes Field, home of the Bobcats, as we get ready to resume our season opener. Not even 17 seconds off the clock, the Worland Braves draw first blood here in Week 1 as a fantastic run by eighth grader Tice Bradshaw is what set things into motion. Not that we're particularly shocked to be seeing Bradshaw score. Again, just an all-around fantastic athlete that young man is. Of course, the only sample size we really have of him, again, is from soccer. But as Worland gets set to kick it away, just a reminder, Worland wearing their whites, Thermopolis wearing the purple. Got a couple of new helmets down there on the sideline as well, so some new gear for the middle schoolers. I think I see a Shut F7 down there, if that's... I'm wearing my glasses, but that's not always a promise that... Oh, here they go down to the near side. Breaks 1 tackle, broke 2, and he'll get out of bounds at about the... Try to see about the 30-yard line. 7:38 to go. We got the number for you. I'm just trying to get the words for it. I think that was Bryce Garrison in on the carry. The 7th grader. And so the Bobcats will take the field on offense for the first time today. So we're about to see if the Bobcat offense can score after a setback early with their first offensive series of the game. Bobcats getting their splits. Looks like out there at QB, I believe might be 8th grader Dawson McLean. Looks like they're going to line up directly under center. Looks like empty in the backfield here. They're going to have, probably expect a run here. Or actually, no, there's not quite empty. I didn't quite see that right. But they'll set a man in motion, takes the handoff, and tries to go up the middle. Broke multiple tackles there, but he will not break the one by Brogan Tiedemann as he gets the wrap up and the tackle there in on the play. And that'll bring up second down for the Bobcats. And they're going to sub off the 3 of Dallas Flores. He'll come to the sideline. A lot of these kids, a lot of these 8th graders I have personally coached as well with the Hot Springs County Rec District. So it's awesome to see these kids out here doing great things at the middle school level. Some of them are preparing to go up to the high school level. Sending a man in motion, takes the snap. It's a pitch. He'll find his way through the middle, and he'll go through before he's wrapped up. I thought I saw 23 in on a tackle there. Might have been 53, but either way, a good stop there by the Braves. They'll bring up third down, and I think 7 for the Bobcats. 6:36 to go. We are so glad that you're tuning in. We hope you're having a fantastic morning. I know it's a bit of an early one for sure, so if you're not a morning person, well, unfortunately, this might not be the business for you. But sending a man in motion, takes the snap, a pitch, and he's going to bobble it there a little bit, but he's going to try to run his way through. Gets it about to the 35-yard line on the carry by Tucker Saylor, the 7th grader. So that is going to bring up 4th down for the Bobcats, but a pretty decent-sized gain. And I'm sorry about the camera work there. A pretty decent gain there. I'm going to probably wager to guess 4th and 3. A little difficult to tell, of course, without the assistance of the scoreboard, but clock continues to run. The Bobcats have ran all of their plays here so far in this opening drive. And they're not punting, so let's see. No, they might. No, it looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field. So they might try to convert for the first down. Sends a man in motion. Another pitch to the outside. He's going to bounce up to the left side. And I think he got enough yards for it, and he did. And it looks like that will be a Bobcat first down. Tucker Saylor, back-to-back carries there for the 7th grader, and the first down does stop the clock, temporarily anyway. That gives us some time to catch up our clock. By the way, this is a very good reminder to our audience that are watching rather than listening. The clock on our scoring graphic is not official. I am running it manually on my end. We do try to keep it in tune with the clock here at LeRoy Hayes Field. However, we're not ESPN. So unless there's a way to connect it to the Daktronics signal, I don't think it's going to be 100% accurate all the time. Sends a man in motion. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out to the left side. Throws. It's the first pass play of the day, and it's incomplete on the pass intended for Braxton DeLay. And that's the kind of the play progression that we kind of expected to see there. Probably the Bobcats just kind of all around are kind of a run heavy, and this is what these kids are used to as well from the rec level as well, having coached at the rec level as well. Usually you'll see quite a few runs, or you'll see a bulk of the plays are runs. Eventually you'll have like 1 or 2 short passes. It won't be usually that much, but it's enough to at least get the defense off guard if they're not paying attention. 2nd and 10, sends a man in motion, takes the snap. It's going to be a pitch to the near side. And he'll try to cut his way through, and he is wrapped up and taken down, and it looks like it was Jace Cochran in on the tackle. So a fantastic wrap-up there. He got by one man on the near side, but wasn't able to avoid Cochran. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. So the Bobcats, remember, they're 1 for 1 on their 4th down conversions today. So it's not quite the end of the. That does tell me that's not the end of the world if they do end up getting 4th down, but they do have to get close enough to the sticks to justify that. Clock continues to run, about 4:15 to go. Sending a man in motion. Looks like they're going to line up a few people off the line. Expect a run here. Sends Saylor in motion. A pitch. They'll give it to Saylor. He'll cut into the middle. And doesn't really get too far, although he does get about 3 yards on the carry. And it'll bring up 4th down again for the Bobcats. Second time they've been in this situation. Ball just barely past the 45-yard line. About 3:44 to go here in this opening quarter. Again, we hope you're having a great morning here. It is obviously, there's just no better feeling being back here for football. It's always awesome when, it's like July is that final countdown, right? When high school sports, the first practices are coming up. And for me as an avid high school and middle school sports fan, right? Not just in Wyoming, but all across the nation, right? It's just, it's so painful waiting for those first contests. It's so different by state as well. I got a few teams that I follow all across the region, but they'll go with a pitch to Saylor out to the sticks. He's going to get more than enough for that first down. That's the second time that they've gone to him for that, and I think they're going to stop. Yep, they're going to stop the clock, of course, for the first down there. And so that is, again, the number 4 of Tucker Saylor. That's the second time they've relied on him to move the sticks on the 4th down, and I think they're actually going to – let's see what's – oh, actually, I did not see that. There's actually laundry on the field, so let's see what's going on here. And that gives us a chance to test out our new flag graphic. and it's holding on the Bobcats. So that is going to undo what Saylor did. And unfortunately, I feel bad for wide receivers and running backs that make great plays like that, and it gets undone by a holding call. You see it at all levels, and it's so frustrating. And I know I say this as a Jaguars fan who we had a lot of penalties last year. Let me tell you, it's just it does kind of. It's one of those things where you made a great play. Unfortunately, it's not going to count, but it's going to be a punt coming up here for the Bobcats. The first time they've had to punt it away today, they'll take a decent kick by middle school standards. That's going to get up into the 30-yard line, and he's going to slip on the turf, and they're going to go to the near side. What a wrap up there! Bryce Garrison on the tackle. And so with that being said, the Braves will come out for their second offensive series of the day. 2:31 to go in the opening quarter. And remember that last drive that we saw, I almost said Brogan. Where is he? Sorry, I keep forgetting his name. Tice Bradshaw was the one who scored. He broke off about a 60-yard run en route to the opening touchdown. That was within 17 seconds of the game, of the first whistle. But the Braves, they had about similar field position their last drive. So let's see if they can go to Bradshaw again to try to extend the scoreboard. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Bradshaw to the right side. He is swallowed up there by the Bobcat interior. Second down coming up on a short gain on the play by the 8th grader. It looks like it'll be 2nd and 9 coming up for Worland. And so let's see what they got here. Coming up is they've only had 2 plays today, so not much of a sample size. Bradshaw scoring on that first handoff, but they've gone to him both plays so far. Let's see if they can go to somebody else or if they try to go for a pass. Under center, takes the snap. He's going to fake the handoff, rolls out to his right side, and it looks like it's caught. And they'll get him out toward the sideline. He is able to stop the clock at 1:37. So good. I didn't quite see who was in on the reception, but a fantastic throw to the far side is enough for a 3rd and 5. So clock stopped as he went out of bounds. It's going to be, looks like they're going to have a receiver lined off the line to the near side. Takes the snap, takes the pitch to the near side. He's got, and a big hit to the near side. What a play. Dawson McLean in on the hit. And that stops the Braves right dead in their tracks, as that will bring up 4th down. So the Bobcats with a successful defensive stand there, assuming Worland keeps the offense out. I didn't see much movement there on the Brave sideline. But what a hit. McLean comes in and lights up the running back. So trying to remember who was in on the run. I don't know if it was Bilodeau or if it was Bradshaw. I thought I saw a 7 there. Or no. Bilodeau's under center, so that can't be him. So they will go for it here on 4th down as we are into the waning seconds. Takes the snap to the far side. Bradshaw finds some room to the far side, and he is going to finally go down. That will be enough to move the chains. 1st down for the Braves. About 39.5 seconds to go. Tice Bradshaw with yet another great play there, converting on 4th down. Both teams equal on their 4th down conversions today. Oddly enough, both of them have been off of pitches to the outside. Tucker Saylor and Tice Bradshaw both carrying the load for their teams on 4th down today. By the way, pretty good football weather. It clearly rained last night. I bet that was a treat. We weren't here for the high school game, but I can't imagine it was very fun I guess it is probably. Never mind. I've played football in the rain. I guess I could probably say it is fun to play in the rain, but It's still, I bet the field was a little bit iffy last night. Takes the snap up to the far side. And that will be enough to run down the clock. Our clock was off on our scoring graphic, but we are at the end of the first quarter. 7-0 the score here off the Tice Bradshaw carry. That has so far been the only score of the day for either side, but it is 7-0 at the end of one. We'll be back in just a moment as we get ready for the second quarter. 8 minutes reloaded on the board. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. You're watching the future of the Bobcats here on TBSN. Warriors coming out here for the opening opener of the second quarter here on their second offensive drive. Like talking back, it's middle school football here at LeRoy Hayes Field, week one of the TMS football season as they get set to open out the second quarter. It's 7-0 here. The Braves scoring off the Tice Bradshaw carry. It went about 60 yards on the carry for that touchdown. He is so far the only one to have scored today. Takes the snap. It'll be a handoff. It is Bradshaw again, and he is stopped on the tackle by the 31 of Braxton DeLay. Tell you what, defying his surname there, he was in no such delay getting there in on the tackle. And the Bobcat defense, they're starting to shake out those jitters from that opening drive. They've learned their lesson from that opening series. They have definitely had some fantastic moments. We saw Dawson McLean light somebody up in the backfield toward the end of that first quarter. So on top of that, we've seen a couple of contributors today as well. Just to name a few, Dawson McLean, one of them, obviously, but also we've seen a little bit out of delay as well. Now trying to go for the pass up to the left side. It's tipped, and he still gets the catch. Breaks one tackle down to the far side. He'll get inside the 30-yard line. And the catch is made by Rylan Malkovich. His first reception of the day. And that is also 2 for 2 on the day for Brayson Bilodeau under center. They've only gone with 2 passes today, but both of them have resulted in completions, which talk about a good passer rating. First and 10, ball inside the 30. Takes the snap, goes for the pitch to Bradshaw. Bradshaw hesitates, breaks one tackle, breaks 2 tackles, will not break the third. As in on the tackle there appeared to have been Dawson McLean. So a great defensive day for the 8th grader there. And Bradshaw, unfortunately, that's going to have to be some game film to look at. He kind of hesitated when he should have just kept going straight on there, but that gave the Bobcat D-line enough time to adjust and make the tackle. I think Bradshaw was just he was just thinking twice there about where he was supposed to go. They'll line him up about 10 yards out from the ball. Nope, that is not at all the correct assessment. Amount more like 7. Takes the snap, fakes the pitch, and he'll go with the handoff to Bradshaw. Goes to his right side, stiff arms. And coming in from behind to make the tackle, number 67 in there. Make your jokes while you can, but Nicholas Ahrens, the 8th grader, in on the tackle. I had the pleasure of coaching Nick when he was playing rec football. Absolutely fantastic athlete. To the best of my knowledge, aside from football, he also does wrestling. So not really any surprised there that he was able to make that wrap up the way he did. About 5:30 to go in the second quarter. It is 3rd down and long for Worland. Fakes the handoff, rolls out to his left side on a short pass. It's caught, and he's going to get wrestled down by Dawson McLean. Yet another tackle for number 2 there on the play. And it'll bring up 4th down and 9 for the Braves. And you got to give credit where credit's due to this passing offense. Perfect 3 for 3 on their receptions today. And Worland testing the limit of the Bobcat defense, but they have held firm there on that pass. That's the first pass really today that they've been able to successfully contain. Didn't really get too many yards out of it, but they are within the original. They're within the sticks here. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. What choice do you have this deep in the field? And they're going to bobble the snap. Oh, that's going to be a catastrophic play there for the Braves. Brayson Bilodeau unable to keep a hold of the football, and it rained a little bit last night, both before the high school game and overnight, so that field, no doubt, a little bit slippery. And unfortunately, that stalled any chance of the Braves converting here on 4th down. But still, you got to give a hat off to the Braves there for the drive that they had. They pushed the Bobcats deep into their own territory. This is still not exactly the greatest field position in the world here for the purple and gold. And all it's gonna take is a stalled drive to give the ball right back to the Braves in an advantageous part of the field for them. Under center, sends a man in motion, takes the snap, takes the pitch to the far side, and he is going to get about 1 or 2 yards on the carry. Looks like that was again, I think that was actually the 7 there, I believe. Yep, I think that was the 7 of Bryce Garrison, the 7th grader, in on the carry. And they're going to get a couple subs out here, so they're going to sub out. Looks like Connor Fairbanks, the 7th grader, coming to the sideline. Also had one of the linemen coming there as well. And looks like we actually have a timeout called here. So we're trying to get who that was. It looks like it's a Bobcat timeout. So we're going to take a quick breather. We'll be right back as Thermopolis uses their first timeout of the ball game. It is still 7-0. Bobcats do get the ball back in their own side of the field. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. 7-0. Braves still on top here in Thermopolis. Lights welcome back. Coming out of the Bobcat timeout, you're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. Second down coming up here for the Bobcats. 4:07 to go here in this opening half. Sends a man in motion. Takes the snap, fakes it. He'll roll out to his left side. Try to find an open man. He'll take it himself. Coming to the near sideline and eventually brought down on a gang tackle there. The 3 and the 78. So that was Brogan Tiedemann and David Espinoza in on the tackle, but it was still more than enough for the first, or it looks like it was more than enough for the Bobcat first down. And a great job there in on the quarterback keeper. Just a great use of his legs there to extend the play a little bit, and more like extend the drive. It does move the sticks. He saw that nobody was open, didn't have much of a choice. He'll take the snap. It'll be a handoff. Looks like a fullback dive, or looks like just a regular dive up the middle there. He is going to get whistled down. Looks like that was Cade Enos, I believe, that was in on the carry. Thought I saw a 61 there. Either way, it'll bring up second and I want to say just barely second and 4. Here for the Bobcats. Thermopolis Bobcats will be on the road next week against the Shoshone Wranglers at Bailey Field in Shoshone. We'll be on the call for that. We'll be here for all of the TMS and Hot Springs County High School junior varsity games as well. I think JV is opening out their season here shortly against Worland. Takes the hand off, and he's going to find some room to run. It's delay up the middle. We got a oh, never mind. It's not him, but it's down to the right side. Even fooled me a little bit there, Dawson McLean, but we do have Laundry on the field, so hold your horses. This could be coming back. Multiple flags all over the field here. There are 2 up near the line of scrimmage. So I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out. And it is on the Bobcats, so that massive run by McLean for nothing there, as this is going to pin the Bobcats back to where they came from. There were a couple of flags down there. Didn't quite see the call. I did see that it was on Thermop, though, and they are moving them back quite a ways. Oh, that is going to pin him. Actually, that's going to pin him up near the storage shed there. Ball going to be on the 36-yard line. They'll keep the clock rolling here. So second down and long. Bobcats going to have to try to earn back those yards that they've lost. It could have been a break into the red zone from McLean, but unfortunately not quite the case there. It'll be a snap and a handoff up the left side. This time it is to delay. They will be just short of the original line of scrimmage. Third down coming up. And the Bobcats don't really need an explosive play 100% of the time here. It's just the little things. We've seen a couple of flags now on the Bobcats. We saw a holding in that first quarter. And it's just the little things, right? It's just those mistakes eventually will rack up, and eventually we could be in a situation later in this game where that penalty could have been points that the Bobcats could have used. Clock's still running under 2 minutes. Puts a man in motion, takes a snap and a flag, and they're going to pitch it to the outside. Oh, he's wrapped up and taken down there by number 78, David Espinoza. We saw him on a assisted tackle earlier, but we do have flags down on the field. It's now the third time we've seen Laundry on the field today. I'm willing to wager it might have been a false start on the Cats, but let's see what's going on here first. See what the white hat has to say first. And so with that, just like we said, if it is on the Bobcats, that would be their third penalty of the ball game in these however long, 14 minutes and 30 seconds that we've been on the field. And it is, in fact, false start. It looks like. Or at least I thought that's what we saw here. He's going to go over to talk with Brian Johnson, it looks like. Hey, I recognize that guy. At least I think I do. So it is false start on the Bobcats, but it looks like there might have also been a penalty there on Worland, which offset. So referee going over to talk with Coach Johnson there, trying to give him his side there. The flags, again, this is either way, even if it is offset, this is still the third penalty of the day for the Bobcats, and those are mistakes that they just cannot afford, especially against a team like Worland. Fourth down coming up. I would wager to say 4th and 9. It looks like they're going to take the long snap. They're going to just cut their losses and take the punt. This one's going to bounce inside the 35, now maybe to the 30. Picked up, and he's going to try to run with it, and he is swallowed up there. It was Bradshaw, but the initial tackle made by the 61 of Cade Enos. And just amazing work to prevent Worland from really going much further, but still got to keep in mind the Worland offense has really been at their best today. They did have a couple of drives. The past couple of drives, though, to be fair, have kind of stalled out, but they got well within the 30. They almost got to the red zone on their last offensive series. So let's see if the Braves can break through here. They'll have Gavin Heupel lined up to the near side. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to his left. He's going to throw on the run, and it's caught. Coming down to the far side. He's going to get wrapped up. Shakes one tackle. He'll go out. That was Brogan Tiedemann in on the catch. And a perfect 4 for 4 for the Braves today on the offensive end of the ball. And you have to give credit to this. We've said this 100 times already, but you got to give credit to this Worland QB. One minute and 8 seconds to go in the second quarter. Coming up at halftime, we'll give you a rundown of your high school scores from last night, as week 0 was the main focus yesterday. Taking the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right side, tries to throw. That's the first incompletion of the day, as that one was intended for Brogan Tiedemann on the play, and he knew he should have had that, as he is coming up with some frustration there as he runs back to the huddle. So it looks like it'll be second down coming up here for the Braves on the attempt to pass to Brogan Tiedemann. He hauled one in on that last reception that he had, which led to the first down to begin with, but unfortunately could not go back-to-back there, and unfortunately just a little bit of miscommunication, maybe a bit underthrown, but let's see what the Braves have, though, as we still have 64 seconds to play with in this opening quarter, or in this opening half, and you kind of forget almost how quickly these middle school games go by. Takes the snap, hands it off up the left side, and we got flags as Bradshaw with another great carry there, but we're going to have to see what the flags were all about. And Johnson making the play call here. And it looks like it is holding on the Braves. That is going to send them back a little bit. 60 seconds with no change to spare remain in this here in this second quarter. And now we're starting to see Worland making some of those mistakes here today as they get the holding call. And it is going to be second down in a second down in a Walmart parking lot here, as they are going to be just short of the 35. Clock will run. Takes the snap. And it's going to be Bradshaw. And it's going to be a pass to Tiedemann. They tried to go with a running back pass. Bradshaw unable to connect with Tiedemann. Back-to-back passes that have gone just short of Tiedemann. And Worland trying to go to the right side. And that's one thing I've noticed. They've had no luck going toward the Bobcats sideline. All their receptions today have been on that far side of the field. Speaking of far side, that's where they'll line up. They'll go down third down in quite a distance here. It looks like shotguns, or never mind, not shotgun, just two men in the backfield here. Takes a snap, Rolls out to his right side. He's going to try to sling it. That one slipped, and it's to Tiedemann. He's going to connect. But the Bobcats able to make the stop for a tackle for a loss, as Brayson Bilodeau does make the connection, but unfortunately a loss on the play. 31.8 to go as the Bobcats call the timeout. They will be down to their last timeout of the half. We'll be back in just a moment. Bobcats still trail 7-0, but this game could end up being, the Bobcat defense could end up paying dividends here in the end. We'll be back here in just a moment. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. Like talking you back here atop the press box. 31 seconds to go here in the opening half. The Worland Braves and the Thermopolis Bobcats on Two Basins Sports Network. Well, with that, I also just noticed Quentin Parra wearing the number 8, which oh, here they go. They're going to take the punt here. Oh, that one might have been blocked. It's going to be 34 is going to land on it here, but that's going to be a turnover on. I think it's going to result in a turnover here. Speaking of 8, you may have noticed we have the number 8 with the Warrior Spear going through it. That will be a permanent fixture on our broadcast for the remainder of the 2026-2027 school year, not just football. So that logo will be with us for the entire athletic year. So just for our Thermop audience that might not be aware of what's going on there. Which I guess when it comes into our soccer coverage this spring, that's going to be interesting. Sending a man in motion. Takes the snap. Oh, we got flags. So let's see. It looks like I'm wagering false start here. So we'll see what the white hat says first, and it looks like it is in fact going to be false start on the Bobcats. So you got to give a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of lenience. It is only the opening week here. Obviously, some stuff that needs to be hammered out. It's going to be a long season. They got like 6 more games after this. So, but those are things that have to be hammered out. Like that has to be hammered out early. The jump. I mean, the offense. As the offense, you have the advantage in that situation because you know the snap count. Under center, sends a man in motion. Takes the snap, hands it off, up the middle, and he's going to find room to run. It's delay. And they're going to call a timeout. I think Thermop is going to use their last one here. And the referees just confirmed it down there on the field. This is the last timeout of the half for the Bobcats. So with 18 seconds and no change to spare on the clock, we're going to take a quick breather. We'll be right back. Middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network as the Bobcats try to get something here before the end of the half. However, that being said, they will be getting the ball to start the second half. We'll be back in just a moment. 7-0, Braves on top. Like to welcome you back here as we get ready to go for the conclusion of this second half, and they're going to go with a running back throw here to the far side, and it's batted down by Bradshaw. They tried to give Bryce Garrison a shot at it there, but 12 and a half seconds to go. Bradshaw in to knock it down. And Tice Bradshaw, we saw he's still got exclusivity over the scoreboard here today. He scored that opening touchdown, a 60-some-odd yarder to start out the game, literally on the first play of the game. Had it not been for that, we still would have been gridlocked 0-0. 12 seconds to go. Sends a man in motion. Takes the snap. Fakes the pitch. He's going to look on a screen pass to the right side, and it's incomplete. 8.9 seconds to go. They try to screen pass to the right side. They need to find a way to get that ball just a little bit further up there. Fourth down coming up here. It looks like 4th and 5 coming for the Bobcats. Coming up at halftime, your scores from across the two basins as we look over the Week 0 football scores from the varsity ranks, considering we did not have any coverage last night. Week 0 opened out high school football here in Wyoming. Got some matchups to talk about for sure. Takes the snap, stumbles a little bit. McLean looking to his right side. It's caught and gobbled up on the far side as the pass was completed to there to Tucker Saylor. And looks like 1 second remains here on the board. So the turnover on down. Oh, yeah, that's right. Turnover on downs. Worland's going to get the ball back. They will be kicking off to start the second half, though, as Thermopolis kicked to start the opening half. This should be the last play of the half here. Let's see what Worland does with it. Takes the snap, takes the pitch to the near side. He'll bounce to the outside. It's Bradshaw again. He's wrapped up and taken from behind. It looked like the tackle was on the 2 of Dawson McLean, who's been having a heck of a game defensively today. But Bobcats in general having a great defensive game aside from the hiccup in the opening drive. 12 minutes have been put up on the board here for halftime. And we are going to step aside. We'll take a quick breather as we get ready to go for halftime. We'll be back in the next couple of minutes or so for your scores from across the two basins. At halftime, the score, the Worland Braves 7, the Thermopolis Bobcats 0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. I'd like to welcome you atop the press box here at LeRoy Hayes Field as we get ready for our second half here to start in just less than 5 minutes or so. As you can see on the scoreboard up there, 7-0 the score here at halftime as we get ready for a little bit of halftime entertainment, I guess, here on our show. As we get ready for your TBSN halftime show, your scores from across the two basins. As we had week 0 action yesterday at the high school ranks. So let's take a look at some of those results from all over the Bighorn and Wind River basins. Starting off with Class 3A, the Riverton Wolverines hosted the Powell Panthers yesterday. Riverton came into this game ranked 3rd in Class 3A football. Riverton took down the Panthers 31-14. Thermopolis took on Worland yesterday. That was a very interesting game, a 2A versus 3A matchup there. Number 5 ranked Thermopolis Bobcats actually came in the preseason polls tied with Cokeville, as much as I'm aware. 38-0 was the final of that one. Thermopolis took care of business against the Warriors, and they will hold the belt for a second consecutive year. Had some out of state things, and none of these are related to the Bighorn Basin. However, I do still want to cover these. Of course, you had your regular games with the Idaho and Utah opponents, but there was one opponent that really caught my eye in the out-of-state ranks yesterday. We have to head to 1A 6-man for this one. Number 2 ranked Little Snake River Rattlers took on the Hafford Vikings of Hafford, Saskatchewan last night. Little Snake River took care of business. They took down the Vikings 80-38. The Hafford Vikings hold a special place in my heart. They played Meeteetse last year. Meeteetse did not get it done on the road there. Little Snake River taking the trip up to Saskatchewan for that one. So that is an awesome experience for those guys there. Again, obviously, Little Snake River not in our market area. However, we do still need to shout those guys out for representing not only the United States, but the state of Wyoming in a very, very good way. Today we have some games actually in the 9-man ranks. Number 2 ranked Grable is set to take on Lusk today at 2:30 p.m. That game will be played at Bailey Field in Shoshone. 10 Sleep Pioneers are going to take on the Casper Christian Mountaineers today at 1 p.m. Of course, that game will take place at Natrona County. And then the Farson Eden Pronghorns will travel to Burlington to play the number 1 ranked Burlington Huskies. That is in 6-man. Of course, also, again, not a Bighorn or Wind River Basin matchup. However, I do have to just say this because this just caught my eye. The Star Valley Braves will be playing a team out of Alaska, Soldotna. I don't unfortunately know that much about Alaska high school football, so if they were playing the Barrow Whalers, I'd probably tell you who they were. But Star Valley playing Soldotna, Alaska today at 4 p.m. That game will take place in Alaska, which is just absolutely freaking nuts. I thought Jackson going to California last year was crazy. We do have some scrimmages today as well. Number 3 ranked Lovell will take on Buffalo today in Buffalo. That will just be a scrimmage. It will not count toward the record. The Riverton junior varsity team will play the Wind River Cougars in a 9-man scrimmage today in Pavilion. And then the Wright Panthers will play a scrimmage at number 3 ranked Rocky Mountain in Cali. Those are your scores from all across the two basins, the Wind River and Bighorn basins, plus a couple of extra games. We're going to sit this next 60 seconds out. We're going to get ready to go for the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. Like to welcome you back here atop the press box here at LeRoy Hayes Field as the countdown strikes zero here as we get set for the start of the third quarter. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. Well, the Worland Braves, not quite sure what to expect from this second half as I think they're going to be bringing in their 7th graders here for this half. The school website, the school website said that it was going to be a combination between the 8th graders and the 7th graders. And just from previous matchups that we saw from our time covering middle school football, probably expect Worland to bring out the 7th graders for this second half. So, of course, the man of the hour, Tice Bradshaw. I mean, we got to give him his flowers today, but also Brayson Bilodeau. He attempted 5 passes today. 4 of them were completed. One of them was to Brogan Tiedemann that fell short, unfortunately. However, that is not exactly the worst thing in the world, but still did bring an end to the perfect streak there. But the Bobcats, despite a hiccup on that opening drive, Tice Bradshaw running for about 60 yards there. We'll probably put that highlight up for you later on this afternoon. Despite that run there, Worland has not really been able to do much at all offensively. Defensively, yeah, they've been able to stifle the Bobcats pretty good. I mean, there is still a goose egg on that part of the scoreboard. But the Bobcats, a lot of their wounds today have been pretty much self-inflicted. There have been a couple of big plays by Dawson McLean and also by Tucker Saylor as well that were called back due to penalties by that Bobcat O-line. So, again, mostly self-inflicted, just some mistakes that they need to kind of get cleaned up, especially before they take on Shoshone next week at Bailey Field. I would definitely say that there is not anywhere close to any reason to panic right now if you are a Bobcat fan. But the Braves, I think the Bobcats could have an advantage here because the Braves, like we said, they're going to bring out their 7th graders here for this half. The whistle blows, and we are almost underway as Gage Larson, the 7th grader, will get set to take the kickoff. And we are underway here for the start of the second half. DeLay is going to pick this one up. The clock will run, and he'll go to the far side, and he is going to get gobbled up to the far side there. 7:54 to go in the third quarter of play. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. We are so glad to have y'all with us here today on a beautiful Saturday morning, as it is finally football season. And I know it's not September yet, but that Green Day song, "Wake Me Up When September Ends." Well, because of football, for me, it's more like "Wake Me Up When September Begins." September. I mean, the NFL is going to be starting soon. College football is pretty much already started. Speaking of, that FCS versus NAIA and D3 slate so far has just been absolutely bonkers. Some of the upsets that we've seen in college football this weekend has just been absolutely crazy if you've been paying any attention to that. Setting a man in motion, takes the snap, and it'll be a run up the middle, and he is going to get stopped. Couldn't quite see who's in there on the carry. Never mind, number 7, Bryce Garrison. They've been using him, and they've been using Tucker Saylor today for the most part up behind the O-line. But second down and a little bit more of a distance coming up here. And so the Bobcats going to get set to get another crack at it here on this set of downs. A couple men in the backfield, a couple men to the hip of the quarterback, takes a man in motion, takes the snap. It'll be a pitch to the far side. Looks like a new body on this one. And he'll get quite a few yards out of that one. Number 5, Gabe Ryan in on the carry. I think that's the first time we've called his name today. Parents Matt and Kristen Ryan are also in attendance today. I saw them come into the stadium a couple hours ago. And so third down coming up here, 6:37 to go, as the Bobcats still seeking that opening score to try to break the seal on their end of the scoreboard. It's been pretty stagnant. My stream deck has not gotten a lot of presses on that score section today. Sends a man in motion, takes the snap, takes the pitch to the near side, and he is swallowed up in the backfield. What a tackle there. Number 64, I think that is. Yes, it is. Luis Deniz in on the tackle. Of course, I know his brother Omar from soccer, so there you go. Some of those connections there. God, that was, how many years ago was that, though? That was when I first started calling soccer for Worland. Taking the snap, it will be a punt here for the Bobcats. Not as great of a punt as they've got. Oh, never mind. This one's going to go by. They have a chance to get to it. Ball is still loose. He hops on it. And look at that. Gabe Ryan able to hop on the ball. It was muffed on the kick return, or the punt return. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bobcats or not. I don't think. Yep, never mind. It will be. So essentially, I guess technically a new drive for the Bobcats. But Gabe Ryan able to get a hold of it. The ball fell where it did. Can the Bobcats take advantage? They have to get inside the red zone for that first down. Sending a man in motion. Gives the pitch to Ryan. He'll run up to the far side. Ryan going full steam ahead. He is brought down by two Braves there. The initial tackle made by number 5, Cohen Studi. And another player that we know from soccer as well. Cohen was dangerous as an attacker last year for the Braves as a 6th grader. Again, a lot of these Braves I do know from soccer. Of course, it's always amazing seeing the green and black out there doing their thing. And I can't wait to see you guys again in April. That's going to be a lot of fun. Second down and 9 coming up here for Thermopolis. They are getting closer and closer. We got something happened there. It looks like it might have been in timeout. I think we do have it. Yep, it is a Bobcat timeout, so they will use their first of 3. And we are going to take a quick breather. We'll be right back. 4:26 remains on the scoreboard. Thermopolis Bobcats trying to break into the end zone for the first time today. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. Braves still up 7-0. As the Bobcats come out of the out of the timeout, I'd like to welcome you back here as we get ready to resume the third quarter of action. The Worland Braves and the Thermopolis Bobcats. A battle of the southern end of the Bighorn River. Takes the snap, drops back to throw. He'll throw off his back foot, takes it, incomplete. And the pass from Bryce Garrison, I think, to try to see who else is there in on the play. Looked like number 8, who is not listed on our roster. But it was, again, an incomplete pass. Unfortunately, the passing woes for the Bobcats. I think they had one reception in that first half, but hasn't really seen much out of it since then. 4:20 to go in the third, as the sun is starting to show itself a little bit here. A bit of a cloudy morning, a bit of a rainy weekend so far. Taking the snap, Garrison he's going to shake one tackle, will not shake the other, as Benjamin Campos is going to make the final tackle. The big guy coming in to make the play. You got to give a lot of credit to Bryce Garrison. He got out of dodge quickly on that first tackle there, but wasn't able. I don't think he saw Campos coming on that last one. Less than 4 minutes to go, which means we are a regulation high school quarter left to go in this game. Looks like we're going to see a sub as number 36, Josh Haddix, is going to come off. I think they brought in Gabe Ryan in his stead, or either that or they brought in Saylor. Oh, never mind. They brought in Ryan. Yep. Although Tucker Saylor is lined up on that far side, lined up in the slot. Going to send the man in motion. Fakes the pitch. He'll roll out to his left side. He's going to look for a throw. Garrison. And it's caught! Delay to the near side! Shakes one tackle! He's gone! Touchdown! Bobcats! Braxton Delay on the reception, and he turns upfield, and the Bobcats break the seal. And make the 6-7 jokes while you can. And just like that, if the Bobcats get the conversion here, this is a whole new ball game. Both touchdowns for either side have been on the ground today. Tice Bradshaw had that rushing touchdown earlier. Actually, no, check that. I forgot. Delay got a receiving touchdown there. I am so sorry. But what a pass by Garrison. And they'll hand it off the gut, and Delay gets all 7 points on the board as they will convert the 1 point run. Just a refresher on the rules here. It is 1 point for a conversion that is ran in. A conversion that is passed in is worth 2. So do keep that in mind as this game progresses. But we are all tied up. It is 7-7 with 3:04 to go here in this third quarter of action. You're watching middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. And boy, do we have a game on our hands. We'll be back in just a moment from LeRoy Hayes Field. We'd like to welcome you back here atop the press box at LeRoy Hayes Field in Thermopolis, Wyoming, here in the hot city, and things are certainly heating up here in Thermopolis. It is tied up 7-7 here as the Worland Braves broke the seal literally on the first play of the first drive of this game. Not even 17 seconds was how long it lasted before the opening score. However, Worland has not been able to punch it in since then, but the Bobcats have just taken advantage. Bryce Garrison with a short pass to Braxton Delay ended up turning into 6. The kickoff, and they're going to go with an onside. Oh, that one's going to go through his hand. And they will fall on it. I see what they were trying to do. I wouldn't call that an onside kick, more like a squib kick, if anything, but still, I know exactly what they were trying to do, and they did, and that's how the Bobcats were able to get into that position to begin with. The punt ended up slipping through a couple of Braves and ended up being muffed. Gabe Ryan was the one who eventually fell on it to extend the drive for Thermopolis, which ended up leading to that score. So all roads led back to Gabe Ryan in that play, but the Bobcats defense has held extremely stout so far today. They held up great against the 8th grade offense. Let's see what they can do here against the 7th grade offense. The Braves will get their splits. 2 men in the backfield. 1 receiver to each side. Takes the snap, the handoff, up the near side. He's going to get wrapped up and taken down on the tackle by Dawson McLean. I think the carry was made by the 25 of Derek Mertz. If not, it was Tennessee Toth. But I'm pretty confident that I saw a 25 there. Clock will continue to run as they ran it. Didn't get the first down out of it. 2nd down and 4. Coming up a pretty explosive carry there by the Braves. And they're going to bring in a new player. Nick Aaron's coming back into the game. He'll come in to replace Cade Enos, who's trying to hustle off before they give him a penalty. Two men in the backfield for the Braves. Takes the snap. And he'll take the handoff to the left side. Doesn't get too much further, but he's still driving, and he is going to get taken down just about there. And looks like we're going to have another stoppage of play as Worland will use their first timeout of the ball game. So Worland is going to call a timeout. We're going to take a quick breather. And this game has certainly changed its pace over the course of these last 22 some odd minutes. We'll be back here in just a moment. Oh, never mind. We will not be back at all because they're going to get their butts right back out onto the field. Whoops. Oh, so it's not a timeout at all. So a big apologies there to our audience here. We are so sorry. It is I need to start paying better attention to the down marker. So the Bobcats will get the ball back, it looks like. It's looking like it's 1st and 10. Okay. So 2:07 to go here. Under center here. Gets a man in motion. Takes the snap. Rolls out. No, it's going to be an option play. Goes to the far side. He's going to take it. He's going to take down the chain gang in the process. Oh, man. I'll tell you one thing. To be fair, they are high school football players who are over there that are working the chain gang. I know Tanner DeLay is over there. Can't remember who the other guy is, but those guys, I don't care if they're volunteers. They still don't get paid enough. You could not pay me to be chain gang because I'm sorry, but I don't think I really want to be on the receiving end of someone running at me at about anywhere from 15 to 20 miles an hour in full armor, mind you. So those guys have more bravery than I will ever have. 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. It looks like it'll be 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 for the Bobcats. Referee signals the clock to run, and it will. Garrison under center. Lines up, sends a man in motion, takes the snap, pitches it to the near side. He'll run toward the near sideline, breaks through one guy, and finally brought down by number 68 there on the tackle. The carry by the 10 of Elam Epperson. Tackle was made by Benjamin Campos again. And the Bobcats starting to find their groove ever so slightly here. They're starting to really make a statement here in the latter part of this game as we're approaching the final 90 seconds of this 3rd quarter. Bobcats will come out 1st and 10, fresh set of downs. Ball on the 30-yard line. They got one man in the backfield. It's Saylor. Garrison under center. He's going to send the man in motion. Fakes the handoff. He'll be another option play. Pitches it to the near side. And brought down by the 4 of Brenner Barthelmess on the tackle. But a fantastic play by Barthelmess. It looked like a pretty good hit, but it was a good, well-executed option still. They got quite a few yards out of it. 2nd and 6 is coming up on the carry. And the big thing about those option plays, that's something, we're going back to 2004 with that one. That's a play that I would normally see in old in old Madden games or like old college football games, or like I'm talking like college football video games, I should know my dynasty uses the option play. Those who don't play those video games have no idea what I'm on about, but he'll hand it off to the right side. Doesn't go much further than that. The initial tackle made by Hoyt Jones. I think the assist there was on, I want to say the assist was made by Campos there on that left side. And we do have a timeout here with 3 seconds to go. And I didn't quite catch who the timeout was for, although thankfully with the new scoreboard upgrades from last year, we do have that luxury now of cheating a little bit. Oh, I see what's going on. So no, never mind. They're not going to call a timeout at all. They're just going to let the clock expire. So that is going to conclude the third quarter of this one as we get ready to head into the fourth and final quarter of this season opener. As the Braves trying to survive here. We'll be back here in just a moment. The fourth and final quarter coming up here at LeRoy Hayes Field. It's tied up 7-7. Bobcats and the Braves. We'll be back in just a moment. I'd like to welcome you back here at LeRoy Hayes Field, home of the Bobcats. It's a classic little, I don't think I would call it a rivalry at the middle school level, but yeah, these guys are like 30 minutes from each other. So, although to be fair, the Bobcats will be playing another neighbor. They play the Shoshone Wranglers next week. Do not know if that's going to be a 9-man or an 11-man game. It's listed as it doesn't have a special tag next to it like the Grable game does. So we'll try to get that for you from the Shoshone AD later on in the week. Throws it up to the near side. Now here comes DeLay on the catch. He's going to break inside the 20. And that will keep the clock. Oh, no, that will stop the clock temporarily, I meant to say. But once they do get that ball set, that is going to keep the clock rolling. And the Bobcats are in very dangerous territory here. And again, the man of the hour, Braxton DeLay, he already has a reception for a touchdown. The Bobcat passing game is starting to find its groove. And with football, you can't be one-dimensional. You can have, yes, your playbook can have one. It can have a preference for one thing or the other, run or pass, right? But like, you can have as good of a pass as a run game as you want. But like, if you don't have a pass game as well, then that's going to be figured out very quickly. And the Bobcats have managed to adapt a little bit. They have managed to get that pass game going. They'll take the pitch to the near side, and it is going to be the one on the carry. He'll get to the corner, gets to the 5-yard line. I think it was Cheston Kimes on the carry. And Cheston, another kid that I coached. Oh, boy. It's deja. Well, it's more like nostalgia at this point. Some of these guys I've coached since I was 17. That's crazy. Like, some of these kids were my first ever... the current 8th graders that you see on the roster here, some of these guys, like, this is like the first group of kids. When I was a senior in high school, I coached them when they were 3rd graders, and now like they're 8th graders. That's so crazy to think about. Garrison under center. He's got DeLay to the back. They got Kimes in motion. He fakes the handoff. It's another option. He'll take it himself. He's in. Touchdown, Bobcats! Garrison on the keeper. And the Cats take the lead 13-7. I'm really loving that option that they're going with here. That has done a lot of damage to the Braves defense. And that's the thing about the option, right? There's a couple of options you can run. There's a speed option. There's a There's a triple option. There's a couple other ones too that I'm blanking on, but those if they're executed properly, if your offensive line can hit its blocks, if you can have that hole to the outside, that option can be super deadly. You don't see it very much in the NFL, if at all, but that is something that you could normally see in stuff like high school and college for a very good reason. Of course, the NFL, they probably figure that stuff out quickly, but they'll take a pitch to the outside. 13 runs to the corner and shoulders the tackle there. And Michael South is going to convert the 1-point conversion there. That's the first time we've called his name today. But it is now a fresh new ball game. The Bobcats on top, 14-7. They take the lead for the first time today. They have scored 14 unanswered points here, and all of them coming in the second half. 6:20 to go here in the game. We'll be right back. 14-7. Middle school football returns from LeRoy Hayes Field when we come back. I'd like to welcome you back atop the press box here at LeRoy Hayes Field, home of the Bobcats. It's middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. We'll be with you from the first whistle of this game to the final whistle of the Riverton game. That's on October 1st. It's going to be a long march to October. Unfortunately, even though there's a bit more, I think there's one more game than they usually play, it feels like the football season is just not long enough. 8 games in high school football for Wyoming, and then 7 games for our middle school team. Now, that to be fair, I don't really know as much about how the middle school scheduling works, but Worland, I think will be Worland, I think will be having a segregated football game against Lovell coming up. They have a 7th grade game and an 8th grade game coming up against Lovell at Worland Middle School. We have an open date for that. Volleyball is not playing and JV football is not playing. We might make the trip up to Worland for that game. No promises there, but it'll be a tackle there as the 3 of Brogan Tiedemann is able to come in to make the play. But yeah, like I said, we do have an open date on our broadcast calendar for that, so I don't know. Just stay tuned. I'm just looking for games to call at this point. With Matitsi canceling their football season, I'm kind of out of out of games to call pretty much. So that being said, we do have Bobcat volleyball coming to Two Basins Sports Network this fall. I don't even know why we didn't mention that. Yeah, we're calling Bobcat volleyball. We will not be at any of the tournaments though. We will not be at well, obviously, we're not at Lander right now. The Lady Cats are playing in Lander today, though, as far as I know. But we will also not be in Bighorn, and we will not be at the Western Wyoming Challenge either. Our first varsity broadcast is going to be coming up at Worland, as they'll try to run to the near side. Misses one tackle. He'll run. He'll weave his way through. Comes to the near side. Turns the corner, and McLean is going to get the tackle. Brenner Barthelmess in on the carry on the quarterback keeper, and he'll run it just enough for the first down. It is enough to stop the clock at 6:05. He kept it in bounds, I think, but obviously the first down will at least temporarily stop the clock. Now they'll get the ball set, and they'll get ready to go. Let's see if the Bobcat defense can hold stout here, as they have a real shot to win this game. Can't remember the last time they beat Worland, actually, to be honest with you. As the middle school team tries to complete the sweep, and we got Laundry on the field. 5:41 to play. Trying to see what's going on here. Still not really any word here about what the infraction is. They will keep the clock rolling, so I guess maybe it's not really anything worth keeping a look at. I think they talked it over, and I think they just kind of concluded that there was nothing really to call there. 5:23 to go. Worland still 1st and 10. Takes the snap, fakes the pitch. He'll hand it off on a reverse now to the near side. Stiff arms one. He'll run out toward the 30-yard line, as I think tried to give chase there was Gabe Ryan, I think, was trying to come in and make the play. And so with that, with 5:01 to go in the game, Bobcats try to keep Worland from equalizing. Now, to be fair, if Worland does score here, that's not going to be the end of the world. They still have to get the conversion, but obviously the Bobcats want to try to prevent that at all costs. And now, to be fair, now the Bobcats, I have noticed another thing, and I'm probably going to jinx them here. A big difference from their first half play. Haven't seen really any penalties from them in this second half. The pitch to the right side. It's going to be a... he's hit as he throws! It's going to be a one-on-one ball, and it's going to fall incomplete. And Derek Mertz was lit up like a candle on that play. And unfortunately, I couldn't quite see who was in there on the receiving end, or who was in there trying to get the catch. I thought it was Brenner Barthelmess there. It was either him or Cohen Studi. It was one of the two. It was definitely a single-digit number there. Either way, he's going to feel that one in the morning. 2 men in the backfield. Looks like they're going to play with a fullback here. One man under center, takes the snap, pitches it to the fullback. He'll come to the near side, and not running nearly with enough intensity there. And he'll run it out. Clock will continue to run. It was number 25 in on the carry. That was Derek Mertz. I guess with that in mind, I don't quite blame him for taking his time on that ensuing play, but by the way, got pretty good turnout for a middle school football game. Worland, half the bleachers there are full. Like I said, this is middle school football. Now, it is the first game of the season, and these two teams are only 30 miles away from each other, but still, the turnout last night for the high school game was amazing as well. At least from what we could see on the video feed. Unfortunately, watched the game from home yesterday. They're going to stop the clock. 3:53, and they are going to call a timeout. It is a Worland timeout, so they'll use their they'll use their first timeout, rather. We forgot to change our timeouts back on our graphic from that end of quarter. But we'll be back in just a moment here. 4th down coming up here for the Braves in what could be a dire possession here for the Braves. We'll be back in just a moment. 14-7, Bobcats on top here in their home opener. Like talking back atop the press box at LeRoy Hayes Field. Just a reminder, we are accepting sponsorships for our middle school, junior varsity football, and our high school volleyball coverage this fall. If you are interested in getting your logo up on the screen here, help us out a little bit with travel costs. We will be on the road as well for middle school and junior varsity football, as well as high school volleyball. I know we got a road trip to Burlington coming up for freshman volleyball coming up, so Get in contact with us, 307-388-9203, or email us at twobasonssportsnetwork@gmail.com. Takes the snap, looks for a pass, rolls out to his right, he's hit as he throws, and just wrecking it in the backfield there. And this Bobcat D-line has been relentless, and I think Nick Ayres, I think he was the one who lit up the running back on that running back pass. So 1st and 10 coming up here for the Cats. And coming up shortly, we will have your Two Basins Sports Network offensive and defensive players of the game. That is coming up next on Two Basins Sports Network with about a minute 30 to go in the game. Of course, players will receive a nice little certificate for their efforts today. And our offensive player of the game, I think, just became a lot easier in this second half. But 1st and 10 for the Bobcats, trying to put the lid on this game. If they score here, that could, to be fair, wouldn't make it impossible for the Braves to come back, but it would, unless it's like a Hamilton versus hold on, there was that one high school game a few years ago in Arizona that like they scored like 3 touchdowns in like 1 minute to win the game. It was Hamilton, Arizona. They'll run it up to the left side here. Try to get a beat on who it is. I think it's Garrison. He'll turn the corner. 15 down to the 25 down to the 20, and it is a 1st down for the Bobcats. Number 7, Bryce Garrison on the carry. He has been turning up in this game. We do have laundry on the field, though. And Garrison is going to be hopping mad if it ends up being an offensive foul. But the flag does look like it was. I think they are going to rescind the flag, though. So it will be 1st and 10 here for the Bobcats. They will keep the clock rolling. Can Garrison find somebody here? We got a couple options in the backfield. Sends Gabe Ryan in motion, and he'll receive the pitch to the outside. He does get a few yards out of it. And for the Bobcats, just barely, just moving the clock, it could be enough here. Worland does have 2 more timeouts to burn, though. That is the problem. But I think Worland is going to try to see if they can't hold out on defense first before they use any of those timeouts. 3 minutes to go here in the game. Coming up about a minute and a half, we'll have your offensive and defensive players of the game. Second down and 10, 2nd and 9-ish. They're going to pitch it to the near side. 36 breaks through the middle, and he is going to have some room there. 3rd down coming up. A carry by Josh Haddix, the 7th grader. And it'll be enough for 3rd down and 1, it looks like. So that should be easy work here for the Bobcats, provided the linemen hold their blocks. You know, and I'm not really that surprised to see these kids doing so well for the Bobcats. Haven't seen them haven't seen them play at the rec level, taking on teams and, you know, handling teams like Lander and the Worland programs pretty well. They're going to send a man in motion, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. It's an option play. Garrison takes it himself, and it's just short of the 1st. So not quite enough for the 1st down there, but we are going to have a timeout on the play as Worland. We were talking about that just a little bit earlier. They'll use their 2nd timeout. We'll take a quick break. So 14-7 is your score as Worland will use their 2nd timeout of the half. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll have your TBSN offensive and defensive players of the game coming up for you right after this. Don't go anywhere. Like welcoming you back here atop the press box as we get ready to go. Time to deliver your TBSN offensive and defensive players of the game. Your offensive player of the game is going to go to Mr. Braxton DeLay. He's got 2 touchdowns today for the Cats, and I think he deserves that more than anything. And then your defensive player of the game, well, Dawson McLean. This guy has been making some fantastic plays. You could make a case for Nick Aarons as well. And a run to the near side. He'll take it himself, and he is going to try to extend it. And he is just short, but it is a first down. Not a touchdown, but it is still positive either way. Tucker Saylor, I believe, was in on the carry. 120 some odd to go in this game, as the Bobcats will be on the road against Shoshone next week. Never mind, I guess we're going to have another timeout. So Worland will use their final timeout here. Thermopolis will be on the road against Shoshone next week. Worland will be hosting Lovell next week for 7th and 8th grade action. There'll be segregated games there, but we're going to take a quick breather. We'll be right back. 112 to go here in this fourth quarter. Back in just a moment. 14-7, Bobcats trying to put a lid on this game here in Thermop. Like talking you back atop the press box here in Thermopolis. It is middle school football on Two Basins Sports Network. Next week, we're heading up to Shoshone for some middle school football action at Bailey Field. Of course, it's going to be a little bit eerie coming into that sim, considering the news that we got at the start of the season. Takes the snap. And he's going to take it himself. It's Garrison. Turns the corner to the near side, and he's in. Touchdown, Bobcats. And Garrison is going to take it himself. He's responsible for 2 touchdowns today, which, I think about it, I don't know. He has a passing touchdown, and now he has a running touchdown. But 20-7, that does put a cap on this game officially, unless Worland can pull 2 touchdowns in the next next minute or so. Of course, that's assuming they score and get the they score immediately and get the onside kick, and then score again immediately afterward. But the Bobcats will try to punch this one in. In the backfield looks to be Tucker Saylor. They'll send a man in motion. Takes the pitch to the near side. He'll try to run it himself. Cuts into the left side. He'll go in, and he is going to punch it in. Fletcher Lewis converts the conversion. 21-7 is your score here with 65 seconds left to play. We'll be back in just a moment. Like talking back here atop the press box here in Thermopolis at LeRoy Hayes Field, home of the Bobcats. Week 1 of this middle school football season. Good Lord, how time has flown as we are getting ready to conclude this game. 21-7, Bobcats on top. It was 7-0 at halftime. Heck, it was 7-0 up until about the end of the third quarter. Bobcats turning on the Jets. But the defense has done its job today, especially even against the 8th grade team. It did its job, and technically you could say that the Cats lost to the Worland 8th graders and beat the 7th graders, but they'll try to cut up on a reverse to the middle there. It looks like the 24 of Tice Bradshaw will be the one to carry that one out. And Bradshaw, still the only one to have scored for Worland today. Oh, we forgot to give our honorable mentions here, didn't we? I don't think we'll do that for, I don't know. Should we do that for football? Why not? I guess a couple of your honorable mentions for Worland. Well, obviously we got to give it for Tice Bradshaw as a offensive honorable mention. Defensive honorable mentions today, I think we're going to give Benjamin Campos and David Espinoza some flowers here today. They're going to lob this one to the right side. It comes in and completes the catch. Didn't quite see who the receiver was on the far side, but they arc it just enough to where he could get a hold of it. And they are going to go hurry up offense here. And they are trying to get the subs off it in time. Tries to go for a pass to the left side, and it's almost picked off. And the 9 of Talon Owsley almost got a hold of it there. 30 seconds to go. And so with that, Worland on 3rd down and I want to say 3 here. More like 2, actually. But with 30 seconds left to go, Worland looking to the Lovell games after this. Bobcats on the road against Shoshone. Takes the snap, pitches it to his near side, weaves his way through. He will get a first down. And just a little bit more, trying to see who's in on the tackle. Number 31, Braxton DeLay, who has been just playing lights out today. Clock will continue to run. Worland seeing if they can't get a couple more plays off of it. Takes the snap. And looks like he's going to be gobbled up in the backfield and a tackle for loss. Gabe Ryan. 2-1. Happy New Year. That is the end of the opening game of this middle school season. And the Thermopolis Bobcats take care of business. They hold on. They survive, and they beat the Worland Braves. 21 unanswered points here in this second half. After being unable to get anything going in the opening half, they get it done here in the second. And now they'll look to the road game against Shoshone, and then they'll be back at home against Lander in 2 weeks' time. But with that being said, that's going to conclude our coverage again. Your offensive player of the game, Mr. Braxton DeLay, although a couple of honorable mentions could probably go to Bryce Garrison and Bryce Garrison and honestly, I haven't really seen much out of really anybody else, but I think we saw something. I think we saw a couple things out of. We saw a couple carries out of Fletcher Lewis. Also, I was going to say Dawson McLean, but he's already our defensive player of the game, so can't really say that. A couple of your, I guess a couple of other honorable mentions today. Gabe Ryan, of course, with that punt recovery, I'm still thinking about that. Just a crazy play by Ryan to. I think that was kind of the catalyst that set things into motion for the Bobcats, and they took that and they ran with it. I mean, they took that momentum and they ran with it. Gabe put them in a position where they were put at the 30-yard line, and just what a game for both sides. The Worland Braves, unfortunately, unable to hold off the Bobcats here. They'll be at home against Lovell for a segregated 7th and 8th grade set of games. But we are going to conclude our coverage here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Whether you're coming in from Worland, Thermopolis, or some random shack in the Bighorns, we thank you either way. We'll see you next week in Shoshone. We do have a couple of broadcasts coming up before that, though. I just have to put them up on the YouTube feed here. But if I can just real quickly get that upcoming schedule for you, if you can just hold on for 1 second, we will get that for you. But we do have some volleyball coming up. I know early September we're going to be traveling to Worland to cover the volleyball team before they get set to go for the Bighorn invite. But our next broadcast is looking like September 3rd. Yeah, it's that volleyball game. So September 3rd, we're heading to Worland. Our first match will be at about 4 p.m. For freshman action, followed by JV and then varsity. But with that being said, I've been waiting a long time to say this. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. And until next time, always remember to please drive home safe and do not pet the buffalo. We'll see you next week for volleyball in Worland. But until next time, take care. Final score of this one: Thermopolis Bobcats 21, Worland Braves 7.